Well, I feel like it's like their nervous system is finally being heard.
Mm-hmm.
The nervous system, communicates through symptoms, and that's the only way it has to communicate to the patient.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And then, it finally gets heard, and it says what it needs, and it gets heard, and you give it what it's asked for, and it's miraculous. And then it's ready to say, okay, thank you.
Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Resiliency Method, the truth about healing. I'm Dr. Erika, and we are here to uncover the root causes keeping you stuck. Together, we'll restore your energy, your focus, and your resiliency so you can finally heal, regenerate, and feel truly alive again.
One patient came in taking over 60 supplements, spending thousands of dollars every month. And when I asked if they helped, his answer was sorta. Welcome to the Resiliency Method, the Truth About Healing podcast. I'm Dr. Erika, and today my practitioners Erika Turner and Susan Hofland and I are exposing the supplement trap keeping you stuck. There is no miracle supplement that's going to fix your chronic health issues. Not the latest adaptogen, not magnesium for everyone, not more turmeric or peptide as the miracle answer to everything. We're revealing why you can't just fill nutritional gaps without asking why those gaps exist, and how to know if you actually need what's in your cabinet and why whole food supplements work when synthetics fail. If your supplement routine costs more than your grocery bill, but you still have symptoms, this conversation changes everything. Welcome back to the Resiliency Method, the Truth About Healing podcast. I'm Dr. Erika. I'm joined with my fellow clinicians, Erika Turner and Susan Hofland, and we are here to invite you in on a little wrap session with us to learn about some of the things that we want to talk about today of the type of supplements. So I think we can wrap on this for a few minutes and get the audience a little bit of an understanding of how we work with supplements, which is actually a little bit more unique. So I'll start with, what do you want to say about that?
Well, first of all, we use, we don't have just like one type of supplement that we work with or one brand. We with multiple different brands, but like whole food supplements is our big key. I mean, most of our supplements are non-synthetic. Every once in a while, synthetic is involved for a short period of time, target therapeutic use, but never long term. Chinese herbs, herbal medicine in general, homeopathy.
Western, herbal, homeopathy.
Fulvic and humic acid.
Carbon technology, stem cells.
And stem cells,
therapy, yeah. Okay.
So all of those play a role in the healing journey with all of our patients. And at different times and places, we're bringing those in.
Yeah. And some of the fundamental questions or unique ways we're dealing with supplementation use is not at what we call more of a medicinal level. In other words, we're using supplementation to actually help facilitate the start, midpoint, and endpoint of a healing cycle. And specifically in terms of organ, tissue, and gland type of material. So what does that mean? Well, the difference is you go to a functional medicine doctor, they may run some fantastic labs for you and determine, for example, you have a B vitamin deficiency in your body. So what you could do is reach for the B vitamin, and sometimes we do, usually in whole food form, but they'll bring in that nutrient in of itself to try to bring up and shore up the gap, which is great. And usually a lot of times it works, right? I mean, they can rerun labs and see that there's an improvement in that. But ultimately, we're really asking the question, well, if there's a B vitamin presenting in this body, what organ, tissue, or gland is involved that would lead us to that point, to where we'd be seeing that actually produce on the labs themselves? What are some examples of that, you guys, that we would say would lead to a B vitamin deficiency, some of the situations in the body?
Well, sure. The large intestine with B12.
Okay.
Right. So many people need to be supplemented with B12, particularly as they get older. So and normally B12 is made in the gut.
So what would represent that the body wouldn't produce enough of that in the gut itself?
There's usually toxins.
It's a holes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leaky gut.
Yep.
All of that. Yeah. Mhm.
Dysbiosis, but
Mhm.
what does that really mean? It means toxins, it
Mhm.
means parasite infections, sometimes it means Lyme,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
sometimes it means all of the above.
Right.
That is compromising the integrity of that gut wall, right?
Mhm.
So then our strategy would not be necessarily just to give a B vitamin, maybe supplement use or use it as a crutch for a while, but really ultimately go in and deal with that root cause.
Right.
So then that
Mhm.
might mean and look like what in the terms of a program? What would they be taking?
They would be taking, depends on what's in there, really, at what we find, but
Mhm.
for sure, parasites are
Mhm.
a big one. Mold, candida, some sort of fungus
Mhm.
can be in there. Toxins of other kinds.
Toxic biofilm.
So we would be giving several different things, sometimes a binder, definitely parasite cleanses, um, things to pull out mold.
Are you tired of treatments, protocols, and gurus who promise results but don't deliver? You're not alone. For years, I struggled with my own long-term illness, and I know how frustrating it feels when nothing seems to work. That's why I developed the Resiliency Method. It's a science-backed approach to combining the best of Western and ancient medicines to restore your body's natural intelligence. Patient after patient has discovered what's possible, living stronger, brighter, and more spiritually connected than ever before. Whether you're facing autoimmune issues, hormonal imbalances, weight struggles, or just feeling stuck, you don't need another quick fix. You need a clear path forward. Take the first step with a discovery call at drerikaonline.com/discovery. That's DRERIKA online.com/discovery. Or dive deeper with a full initial consultation at drerikaonline.com/initial-consultation, because your health, your clarity, and your freedom cannot wait.
And ultimately, with the end result of getting the body to a point where that gut wall is tight again, and then
And
we're not
filled.
seeing this constant chronic leakage of nutrients throughout the body that we would need to supplement for.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, a lot of
Right.
times B vitamin deficiency just gets handled with the diet. I don't, we have, we obviously have patients who will be on a B vitamin for a long period of time, or maybe even as a maintenance supplement. But other people, we use them for short periods of time as our body's getting, through a healing cycle, and then they can come off of it because now they're actually uptaking that nutrient from their diet as they should.
Which is the goal, right?
Right.
It's like to
Exactly.
tolerate
Yeah.
and utilize the food as our fuel, and in particular food, and we'll get into the conversation of whole food supplements now. The food of the animals that we don't necessarily want to eat.
Yeah, I mean, our supplements have things like porcine brain and ovine spleen and basically all of the organ meats,
which is actually how our ancestors used to acquire their energy
food.
and their fuel, was to eat everything. But I sure as heck do not want to put that on my plate.
Yeah.
However, I would prefer to take it in a easy tablet to get it down and feed my body and nourish my body that way.
Yes.
But that's the level of nourishing, right? So that's the point when the body is ready to receive that nutrition. And a lot of times, let's face it, phase 1, phase 2, they're not taking up a lot of whole foods at that point. There's a lot of filling up the dumpster we need to do in those phases for a bit of time before that gut is really prepared, before that body is really ready to receive that whole food nutrition. And that's where we use some of those herbal, homeopathic, right, supplements, and ultimately long-term see pretty instrumental changes. One thing we're seeing right now with vitamin D, as we clear out the deeper levels of encapsulated toxins,
those vitamin D levels are coming down.
their need for vitamin D, is going down.
I mean, they're not their levels, but their level of supplementation is being reduced, which is pretty fascinating.
Your programs are getting smaller in terms of nutritional supplements that they need to take. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. What else is there to say about supplements?
I mean, it's funny. I mean, I used to be this person that, I mean, I had a cabinet full of supplements that, I mean, I started getting into that, after my diagnosis and kind of discovering, the kind of the world of alternative health. And I had, worked with 2 different naturopaths and, kind of started with supplements in that part of my journey, my health journey. But I was like the person who had to walk into natural grocers and there would be like some little like new display, like a little table with like their newest supplement they were offering. And I would be like, I think I need that. Those things it's talking about on that, flyer. Like I experience all that. I probably am deficient in this. Like I need it. And so I'd, buy that supplement. And then, after a few days of taking it, I would be like, not really even sure how much of this I'm supposed to be taking and for how long. And like, where does it stop? Because you could go to natural grocers the next week and there would be 5 others that you would look at.
There's always a pill. There's always a quick fix.
And how much money did you spend on that?
Thousands. Yeah. And to never, without any answer of like, did any of that work?
Right.
Did it make me feel better? I mean, I don't think I could ever tell you that any of it made a difference. But I have, some people come in, as new patients who have that, that's been their history is like the
most of them, I would say, come in now.
I mean, I would say maybe 50% of mine come in with like a long list of supplements they're taking, either that they think that they should take, they've read that they should take, or that another practitioner put them on and they just never stop taking those.
Right.
And then I have another, bunch of patients who don't take supplements at all because they actually like, well, I don't know. How would I know if
they
I need
get
that?
started at all?
Or they hear studies that say most of that supplement just goes right out your poop and into the toilet. It's expensive excrement or pee.
Or and that's the thing too. I think that there's a lot of great marketing out there around some of these supplements, and then everybody, it has the wonder supplement with the research these days. But I know some of the things that we've discussed is that sometimes that research doesn't go far enough. It may show a clinical immediate result for a period of time, but we're really looking at, well, long term, then what happens? Does that patient still maintain that result from that wonder supplement that they took? And what we see, because we're talking to people that come in that have done some of those pathways, we see that they're getting frustrated, they're getting plateaued, and they're really not going deep enough in that conversation with the body to say, what is it you really need here to kind of shore up this nutrient deficiency for the long haul, right?
Yeah,
and that's where our approach is a little bit unique because, again, we're using supplements in a different way to actually facilitate a healing response in the body. And doing that, we really truly see more lasting.
I want the body to get back to healing, to doing the healing work. The
Yes.
supplement is part of that journey and a useful resource for the body
It
to
needs
use.
to be
during
done.
that. But
And what you need may not be what I need.
Ooh, let's talk about that
So
for a second.
This is so what we do is it's tailored specifically for your body at the right time, at the right dose for a season, and then you're off of it. Many of my patients have complained that I have all these half-open bottles in my cabinet and I'm not using them up. That's not how we're using them. We're using them for a specific purpose, for a specific time, at a specific dose.
And not everybody gets 6 of them every day, 3 times a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's a good point, Susan, you're bringing up, which is the process, right? It's like the need for customization for each individual, especially to make that investment, because it's an investment to buy a supplement, but to make that investment actually work for that person, to actually get a result and to get an efficient one. So we get in and get out, get the healing work done and move on to the next thing. Right. And so ultimately that really becomes more of a cost and time savings for the individual, and not the old throw the spaghetti against the wall. Let's see if we get a result. If it sticks. And man, there are some good marketing campaigns about some of these supplements that will fix the thing.
I kid you not. I had one gentleman come in who was on over 60 supplements.
Wow.
Yeah. The thousands and thousands of dollars, he spent on that. And I was like, do they help? Well, sort of.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this point up, and I don't want it to sound braggy, but I think it's like something that we all experience as clinicians doing this work, which is that moment. I just had it like kind of a run of this with bringing up some new clients.
where they start to have the experience of that nutritional supplement put in the right order at the right time in the right amount. And then their body like has this like, and I remember this too when I first started, this like experience for the first time of actually going,
Yeah.
and like being nourished. And I always still feel it when my program gets tweaked or, you know, we have to get an update and that next level of healing starts to get into in the flow. You get that sense of like, this is right.
the missing,
This
the missing thing for this moment, not forever. But
Right. And I've had so many people that have like really expressed that intuitively that they feel that there's a difference in terms of taking supplements, using the resiliency method as the backbone, the process, the algorithm, whatever you want to call it, to actually help them get a result.
Well, I feel like it's like their nervous system is finally being heard.
Mm-hmm.
The nervous system, you know, communicates through symptoms, and that's the only way it has to communicate to the patient.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And then, it finally gets heard, and you know, it says what it needs, and it gets heard, and you give it what it's asked for, and it's miraculous. Then it's ready to say, okay, thank you,
let's go.
Right.
Let's go. Like, let me tell you about this next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. We're pretty lucky we get to see some pretty cool things happen with people.
Yeah.
I like my job. Do you like your job?
Oh, my job.
I love my job.
Yeah. It gets like validated every day I'm in the clinic.
Yeah.
It just gets read.
What do you think is the best, what would be a better question for somebody to ask who is looking at doing something with their health when it comes to supplementation? What would be a better question that you'd have them ask themselves about getting a result with supplements?
Well, I guess back to that patient with the 60 supplements, like, is this really what my body needs?
How do I know?
And and how do I know?
That's why I would have a patient ask themselves, how do I know that I need these and for this dose and for how long?
And why is it that she needs it or she needs it too?
Right.
Yeah.
How is it that we are actually the same?
Right.
Are we deficient in adaptogens?
All the time.
All the time.
Magnesium.
Turmeric.
Yes. Peptides. And
yes,
all the things we watch them all come
the
and
latest,
go.
greatest.
The latest and greatest. And that's fine, you know.
We use those. I mean, we have.
There's a time and place for
Yes.
every single one of those, right? There's a time and place, but right order, right time, right amount.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's no one miracle supplement.
Thanks for tuning into the Resiliency Method, the Truth About Healing podcast. If this episode spoke to you, follow, share, and leave us a review. Are you ready to go deeper? Book your discovery call now at drericaonline.com/discovery and take your first step today.